Hi, it's Chris Watkin here from Agents Together, the charitable foundation for estate agents. And today I'm joined by Paul Halliday, who set his own estate letting agency up in the town of Measham in the East Midlands, literally 4 or 5 months ago. Thank you for joining me today, Paul.
That's great to be speaking to you, Chris.
Good stuff. Paul, what I'd like to do is ask you a few questions over the next 5 or 6 minutes to discuss how you got involved with the Agents Together Charitable Foundation, what you actually get from it, and answer all the questions that people have about is there any catches or what does it cost to get this mentoring for free of charge. But we'll ask those questions. So, Paul, very briefly, you set up your estate agency in July this year in Measham. Why did you want to set up your own estate agency and letting agency in the first place?
I've worked in estate and lettings for a number of years, and actually sort of bought my first property at auction when I was only 17, so 21 years ago. And there were just a number of things that, I wanted that control, to be honest with you. I wanted control over my own destiny, which was a big part of it. And I wanted the option to do things in a way that I felt was a little bit different, and to be able to focus where I wanted to and introduce new things the way I wanted to. And it felt like for me, setting up from scratch was the best way to do it. And my family, my dad runs his own business as well, so sort of an entrepreneur.
It was in the blood. So your previous job, what frustrations did you have?
I was frustrated with the amount of contact I was really able to have with vendors. So I think one of the things which was a big thing is you'd go out, you'd value a property, and then you wouldn't have a huge amount of interaction with them after that. And that constant interaction all the way from beginning to end was really important to me. Okay. And so that was one of my big frustrations. Okay. And also just the feeling that I wasn't getting what I was worth, if truth be told.
I'm with you. So surely you must have had some fears of making the jump into setting your own business up. What were those fears?
There are a huge number of fears. There's a little bit of you can work in an industry or work in an agency, but am I good enough to do it myself? Am I going to be able to get those valuations in? I know I can convert them when I get in the living room, but am I actually going to be able to get people to call me out? The cost of doing it as well, that was a huge factor. And then just also the loneliness. That was a big thing for me when you set up on your own, feeling like you're alone. And that was concerning as well. How would I handle that, and how would I get through that?
Okay, so when did you reach out to the Agents Together Charitable Foundation to ask for some help?
Not long after Agents Together launched, to be honest with you. I had been thinking about setting up on my own, and an opportunity came up that made sense. And so I reached out. I heard about Agents Together through posts on LinkedIn. And I just thought it would be interesting to see what they could offer, whether it really would be worth my time, if truth be told, and what the catches were, but to find out about it. So I reached out to them and then was connected with actually Stephen Wayne from Benjamin Stevens.
Okay, so Stephen Wayne's top estate agent, and I know he's a sort of one of life's givers. He likes to give back. Yeah. What does Steve Wayne actually do for you as a person and as an agent?
I think a lot of some of it isn't tangible. Like, he's not a business coach who's on my shoulder telling me every little thing to do. It's not that, but it's having someone that you can go to who understands. He's set up his own agency. He's been through everything that I'm going through. And so having someone I can bounce ideas off or ask when I come across a stumble, or even just to be able to go and say, hey, look, I've had this massive win, and to have someone who understands what that means. And I think that's underestimated a lot. And so with Agents Together and with Steve, that's meant that I've had that encouragement and had that support, and had someone say, yeah, that's massive. You should be really proud of that.
What does that mean to you, that the fact that the Agents Together has put you together with this, leading authority in the industry? You said earlier on that you didn't want, you were worried about being alone. Do you feel alone now you have this guidance?
No, I don't. And in fact, I looked at lots of options when I was setting up, and, I don't want to go into it, but I looked at the self-employed models for some of the others which have partnerships and stuff. And there was reasons I didn't go with them. But one of the things that was appealing about it was that you weren't alone. Well, Agents Together gave me a way to not be alone, to have someone who actually understood what it meant, to secure a new build site, for instance, or or to struggle with a landlord, or to have a month where you're not getting called out, to know someone who's been through that, who can say, yeah, it's a tough market at the moment, you know, don't be too harsh on yourself. That is huge, because it does stop me feeling alone. And it's, as I say, it's hard to put that fully into words, what that means, but it gives you a boost, it gives you a confidence, it gives you someone who knows, because you can talk to family, but unless they're agents, they don't know what it's like. It's never going to be the same, you know. They can only say, well done, darling, so many times, you know what I mean? Whereas someone like Steve really makes that difference in understanding how big a deal it is when you secure that instruction.
And can you confirm what is the cost for you to be guided and supported by Steve?
Yeah, absolutely nothing. It's absolutely free, and that's what makes it so amazing, because when you're setting up, you have so many costs, and cash flow is king, as they say, and you're always sort of looking at these things. And you know, if I had to pay, I don't know if I could have afforded to have the support that Steve offers. But with Agents Together, it is genuinely completely free. There's no obligation. Even talking to you, that's not an obligation on me. I didn't have to do this. This was something I said I was happy to do. And so to know that, you know, there is no obligation, there is no cost to it, and there is no sort of long-term, I'm not trying to be signed up to anything. It's just purely, here's someone to mentor you, to support you, to be an encouraging word when you need it. You know, that's massive, and for it to be free is huge.
What would your advice be to any estate agent, be they a neg, branch manager, employed, self-employed, running their own business? What would your final advice be? Obviously, no one in Measham, obviously, but anyone else. What would your advice be to any agent watching this about whether they should apply to be a mentee with Agents Together?
Oh, I think you really should reach out to them. At the very least, reach out and have that initial conversation, even if then in the end you decided it wasn't for you, because you would be surprised how much of a difference it makes just to have someone who's been through some of these things before, and to have someone to say, yeah, that's okay, or yeah, that happens sometimes. That in itself is huge. And whether you're an employee, whether you're setting up on your own, whether you're one of the self-employed models, sometimes you just need someone completely outside of that who can give you an honest word. And that's what Agents Together's done. That's what Steve's done for me. And it really has been massive. So make that initial conversation, reach out.
Paul, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Agents Together Charitable Foundation, every mentor and every mentee for your kind words. And my advice to anyone watching this is, over 100 people have come together, the who's who of UK estate and letting agency, because we want to give back to this industry that we love. And hopefully one day, Paul, when you're established and you're rock and rolling, you too can be a mentor and give back and pass it down the chain.
Oh,
thank you for your time today, my friend. You've been awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Chris Watkin here from Agents Together, the charitable foundation for estate agents. And today I'm joined by Paul Halliday, who set his own estate and letting agency up